What's going on out there, traders? Who's doing some trading action right now as we speak? You know your boy, Money Mitch, getting after it. Let's take a look at what I've been doing today. Of course, been focusing a little bit on the rule the pool competition. So let's get to the action. Let's see what I'm up to right now as I speak. So right now I'm long ASPN. This is a building material stock that we've talked about right here on Start Swing Trade. So I rode this one up from about 824 with 1,000 shares, trying to take some profits here into the 850s. Really would love for it to get to the VWAP 855, but we'll see if we can get there. Going to go ahead and probably take some profits here as I expect to see a little bit of a decline here towards the end of the day in the market. We've been so strong all day that I could see us dropping off a little bit. I think I'm even going to play a firm to the downside after I've made like a really good money to the upside on that one. Let's take a shot on that one right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and take some profits here and just let this continue to work. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a stop loss at 845 if it starts to pull back, and a target profit at that 855 to make the 310 to put me into 1,000 up. Let's go back to a firm and see the action right now because I'm starting to see this drop off. It just tried to make another run to 21. That's what I was looking for. Now I'd have to risk off that 21, but I don't mind taking a shot here and trying to make some more money before the close. Let's see what I can come up with. Guys, I'm going to do a little bit more of some live trading action today for you guys here on Start Swing Trade. Normally, of course, we take a look at some swing trade action, and I will talk about the sectors that are up and what is doing well here. A big part of me has been talking about what XRT, right? The retail names. Look how that kind of got lifted today. Really nice lift off there to 60s. We'll keep looking for some pullbacks for the swing trade, but Starbucks having a really good day there. And I took some of these, but now you're starting to see them fall off. So let's see if we can come after this one. Let's go firm. All right, getting a little bit of a bounce there. So I'm about to take my shot here in a firm on the short side. If I could especially get 2090s, I don't mind risking off that 21s. But you know what? I think I'm being even picky there. I can risk and try to get after this. So let's go ahead. Let's see what I can come up with. I'm going to go after it with, let's do, I did 700 shares earlier, so I want to do about half of that here and see if I can go ahead and get it, especially if it can make a little bit of a pop here towards kind of like 2091s and then take the takedown. So that's what I'm going to look for, it to pop into the 2090s, then get short on a firm. I'm trying to flip on the trade that I traded earlier. I actually traded on a firm from under 20s. I wanted to come back down to that spot. We might not get our opportunity here. Let's see what happens here. It's already dropping off there. So it's now or never if I want to take this shot. And I could see this dropping pretty fast back down to 2040s. It's about 40 cents on the downside there. Can we make another 200, something like that? Yeah, we definitely could. So let's see what else is going out there. Also took CVS today. That was a really good trade. That's actually trying to make another up move. I'm going to catch you guys in the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? What up out there, guys? Mama Mitch, what's going on? Bob the Builder. Hi, Daddy. What is going on out there, team? Smash the like out there, team. Sean Green, I already have 100 shares of Apple. Just got another 100. You think that was a good move? We'll talk about it. I'll actually try to stay towards the bell when Apple hits and then get you guys over to the Apple earnings call. That's going to be later today, and they love to hold off a little bit. So let's see what happens here, guys. Will we get another run towards the close, or will the Qs turn around here and the SPY turn around? It's been such a great day for stocks overall. Every sector's in the green. Apple's trying another attempt towards the highs, so let's go towards that as I wait for a little bit here. And it could take a little while, right, to get this trade. I don't want to rush it, but definitely focused on it. There you guys see Apple trying to get another move up higher. But let's see if it double tops around the 177.50s and then comes right back down. Things like this is what we can look for. We could also maybe try to play the Qs to the downside here, but this is just a rent kind of fast trade action. What are you guys taking a look at there? A firm hit that? Thank you, Marty. Appreciate you. All right, let me take a look there. There's the 90s. Let's take the shot. I've been looking at this trade setup. The key is that it could hit 21 really quickly here, so you have to be really tight. Here's 95s actually giving me that opportunity. Apple's starting to pull back here. I think we're going to have a pullback before the end of the bell, and then the earnings come and probably rip it right back through the highs. So it's not that I'm getting bearish here, but I'm willing to take a short time frame kind of trade here. Also, I was looking at SEDG to see if that could continue to climb. That's been an insane move back today, about 14% there. All right, so looking for this to kind of close on the 5-minute basis, then we'd be what? Really close to that 4. It'd be about 340s, and then could look for maybe 20 minutes of downside action. Of course, this is a time frame type of trade, right? So I have to be careful. Here's ASPN to try to hit our target profit. I'm going to cancel the stop loss here. Try to get hit on the profit here at the 300 spot. Can I get hit here? All right, canceling that order there. Can you just go ahead and get out on the market here? Take the $300. Boom! I'll take that. A nice little $1,000 up here. So now can go ahead and look at that affirm. Let's go back to that. We're at 2097. So I'm going to give it the 5-minute here around the 130 mark. It's usually when I see stocks change their tune. So we got to remember that I'm shorting something that's strong here. So I got to be smart there and see it start to turn back down. So just kind of hold this there. Don't want it to hold that 94 and then break through the 21s. I want this to eventually flush through the 2080s here. Qs are making that next leg up. This is why I'm also holding off. I'm paying attention to the Qs. I talk about this all the time. And I really would like to see the TLT come back down because it did make an attempt to the downside and bounced really strong here around the 87s. That's another thing that we can keep our eyes on. And of course, we have earnings after the bell. So getting after a team, and I'll take a look at any stock you guys mentioned in the chat. Keep mentioning them. The only thing I ask, if you mention a stock, just throw up a like, right? Let's keep it going, team. All right, let's see what else is being mentioned out there, team. I'm looking around. I'm trying to go ahead and here's our earnings calendar. Let's take a look at what we have tonight. We got Coinbase, DraftKings, Booking Holdings, Striker, Live Nation, Rocket Mortgage. A lot on the base tonight. Penn's move today was major move there. Did you guys see that one? Penn with a big move up here, and you guys see me using here Trade the Pool. If you guys want to check out Trade the Pool, I'll let you guys know how to do that right now. But looking around, team, and seeing Penn right now pulling back. Did you guys see this move? What a move there, up there to 23s, now pulling back off of that. But that was a big rip up. We'll see if DraftKings can continue the move. It's not a bad day to report, and I've been liking how DraftKings has been going sideways for a couple of months now. We'll see what happens on the report tonight. Earnings are so hard to play, man. I'll tell you that. It literally puts some fright in me when I go to think about playing some of those. But ASPN getting up there towards 855, even almost 860. So not mad. I took the profits and ran. Can't be mad about that one. All right, Moderna trying to go higher, and that was also a reversal. A lot of reversal action and kind of the trash stocks getting the lift today. Be careful out there because we'll see how this trash stocks can keep strong or not. I mean, the truth is we don't know which way they're going, but look at the Qs there. This is why I was a little hesitant because it's just been so strong of a day. Could have probably even stayed in some of these plays. Some of the best plays for me today, I'll review those right now, but you can see how we just triple topped around the 363. So now is the chance for it to kind of give that flush down look. I'm going to go ahead, and if I see the affirm start heading down here towards 2095, I'll risk off that 21, and I'll just go after it really quickly here with a good amount of sizing here. All right, I'm already seeing the Qs pull back there. I'm going to go ahead and take my shot here. 95 showing up. There's 1,000 shares short of a firm, and I'm only going to risk here. Let's risk about $100 of my trade here. Back towards 2105, giving myself an ability to maybe make a nice little profit if it flushes through 2070s, a nice little extra 250, 270, or the next support would be 360s. We'll set it at the 360s for now. Let's see if the Qs can come down fast here. Look at the Qs already coming back to support. That's why I'm coming after this trade. We'll see if it actually breaks support. What does it need to do? It needs to break this trend line. So you see here how we attempted and we wicked there. Now I want to see a close below that trend line and coming back down here. So you guys can see that right there, this attempted wick here. This is going to be an important price point to actually close below that. And so I'll be watching that to see if we can do that. That's right in this space. We can close below that. We'll be looking a lot better for at least the pullback. Am I saying this is going to break down massively? Not really. I'm just trying to take a little bit of a trade here and a flip side trade, essentially. We'll see what happens here. Q's pulling back fast there. Let's see if some other stocks start to pull back fast. So I'm looking for kind of names that are starting to pull back here. We'll see what happens. ARKK, what a day there. And that thing made a move to 38s from 37s today. I saw Verb up 15%. Names like that can start pulling back. Maybe even Roku. Roku's just topping out here at the 78s. Will this start to pull back? This has been a massive move up higher for Roku in two or 3 days. We're talking what, 38% on Roku. So here's Roku. I'll show you guys that one so you guys see how this is topping out, at least from what I can see here. Of course, you guys call your own shots, but you guys can see there a lot of topping in this action, and it's come back a couple of times here. Has hit up there to the 78.50s, 78.60s multiple times. We'll look to see if it comes back down towards the 75 spot. Of course, it would need to come back down in a hurry here, or maybe after bell start to pull back. But what an expansion move in the last couple of days on the Qs. We're up to 363s. And where would we run into resistance? I'm going to draw a trend line where I'll be looking to see where that trend line was, where that resistance could come. And that could be closer towards 368. But other than that, I don't see too much more on this move. So we got about 5 points there. Maybe Apple brings us to it already, but you guys can see how this is rejecting that 78 spot on Roku and could start coming down. We'll see what happens there. Affirm trying to get up there back through the 21. That's why I gave myself a tiny room for it to hit 21. We'll see if it goes above and stops me out. If it stops me out, I lose 100 when I made easily. You guys can see some of the sells here on the left-hand side. Affirm 200, Affirm 311. So about like $500 made there. I don't mind risking about 100 of that. Playing with the house's money, they call it. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. There's a lot of action going on, so let's see what else you guys have. All right, so I see the names rolling through here. Always, man, always trying to get after it. It's good to see you, Michael. All right, let's see what else you guys have. Late Dash push. Dash was interesting chart here. Let's get to that chart. You guys can see I already have it even drawn out here. I'm looking to see if it comes to this daily candle back through that 88.30s, but you can see how that's pulling back here. You could see the pattern that I even drew out. So I already had this drawn too. I can't blame you on looking at this one, Marty. I tried to make that attempt over here and now could start rejecting it. We'll see what happens. It has been trying to make that move above 88.50s, and it did try to do it here towards 89 and then failed. All right, Q's finally starting to make that move. So now's when I should see that Affirm kind of action start coming in. That's why I don't want to go long some of these names right now. I will maybe play these even after the bell. We'll see what happens there, but nice little rejection now back towards 96. So if I wanted to, I could kind of double up here, go even bigger, look for the breakdown, and then keep it tighter. But we'll see what happens here. Really want to see the Qs make a big move towards 363 as it pulls back here in the last 15 minutes of the market. And then as soon as the bell comes, I got to be careful because, of course, we could bounce back and the spread could go wide. So I'm going to look for a quick move here and look to take the profits. Boom, boom. Lower that. Let's get to it a little bit closer here. I want to take some other trades too, but I can see that there's not much there that's setting up for me. Maybe a Roku short overnight, right? I could take a Roku short overnight. I have no problem with that. The only question is, where would this pull back to? It could pull back here towards kind of 75. That's about $3 down. There's definitely some resistance over here around the 78, 79 spot, but Roku, not going to be an easy trade to sleep on. Let's just say that much. All right, what do you guys have out there? I know that you guys just threw up a bunch of names. SoFi got a nice pop today. Also, I will mention that above the 8s. I was looking for pullbacks back towards like 8.10s to maybe swing this. This actually doesn't look too bad. We were talking about this recently, and I will say that I kind of flipped a little bit on my outlook. And a lot of that is based on what the Fed was talking about. As you're starting to see some of these financials get a little bit of a lift, I could see financials getting a little bit of a push, but in the long run, you guys know how I feel about the financials. I think they come right back down. All right, let's keep going. Lucid, not really a stock that I would trade, even in this environment. This is kind of the dash for trash trade. You got that move. You went up to 460s. I'd leave that one alone. I don't like the story at all on Lucid. I think at the end of the day, it might be a little bit of a trap. That's just my outlook, right? Like you guys can always call your own. ENPH. All right, that's a nice little bounce back move in solar, but is this one that I want to be long overnight? I'll tell you right now, I don't want to do that. It's a little bit of a scary trade. If anything, I was thinking maybe at some point, maybe shorting SEDG for the move back down as this came insanely back and has horrible guidance out there. You guys can see how it's coming back here towards this support spot, that first kind of dip down. I think it could come right back down. I don't see it going back to 85 that quickly, but of course it is oversold. So really nice quick move up higher today. We'll see if that can hold. All right, Shop was a really nice move. This is going to be one I'll definitely be struggling on because, man, I'm not going to lie. I love Shop and I need to invest in this company. Just got to get it at the right price. I've talked about it multiple times. Mara and Bitcoin, you can see coin moving the lift today. That wasn't bad at all. You guys see the alerts that I have set. I was looking for a little bit of a pullback back down into those levels to get long. And that's why those alerts, and you see those little bells there. But I was also looking at Mara for the up move, and that was going to be a move off the support here, the 950 run towards maybe 10. It didn't get to 10, but it got to 985. Not a bad move there. Riot was a little bit leading this move, and it was already at the top here when Mara was at the support. That's what gave me the insight to go after this one. So that's just that type of trade now. Robinhood charges 3 cents a trade now. When did that happen, Keith? That's interesting. All right, let's definitely hit the like button. Support us as we support you guys out there. Smile it out there. Y'all wild in the chat. Let's keep going, team. Thoughts on Apple's earnings? Let's go to it. Of course, it's going to be all about the iPhone mentions, Gerald. What will happen there? I'll give you guys the estimates in just a second. Remind me, and you can yell at me in the chat, team. 3:55, we go all but talking about Apple. Let's keep talking about the trading action right now. Qs are starting to come back up, but Affirm not really getting hit here. So I got to tighten up the stop loss because at the end of the day, there's no point in even risking all the way up there now. And it should start coming down. But the only thing is the Qs are battling here, and it could take a little while there. We'll see what happens at that point. You see how we got that wick, and it came right into that spot and then rejected it. Now I want to see if this will close towards that. Will we get a quick move down? That's what I'm looking for here. Let's find out. All right, so there's 94 starting to show up. So I'm starting to get in the green here in Affirm. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot here, guys. So I'm going another 1,000 shares deep there, 2,000 shares deep on Affirm. And now I got to set the stop here, right? So the stop is going to be set at 21, still risking about 130. So essentially I just added and lowered my risk, and now just risking about the same in the trade, but looking for a quick little dip through here. Let's see if I can get it up about 20 bucks here. And if I can get a quick dip in the Qs, maybe I can get nice little $200, $300, $400 on this one. Let's see what happens here. Dun, dun, dun. Taking a shot, guys. Ooh, Paycom. Nice, Boba. You went after that bounce play. Expedia after the bell today. That's definitely something we can watch. Smash the like if you guys are enjoying me taking some shots today. Let's see it, guys. Up 40 bucks now. I just need the Qs to kind of fall. Let's see if the Qs want to do this move. They're kind of chopping around right now, and I'm taking a look at Apple. Of course, Apple is starting to pull back. I was looking at that one to see if it would hold 177.50 breakout move, and I'll show you guys that. Of course, we're keeping an eye on it after the bell today. You see that 177.50 rejection. Now I'd like for it to come to 177, and you might find some buyers there. That's the VWAP. We'll see what happens. But that move alone could get me a nice little profit here in Affirm. Now we're up in the green, back to 90s. Once we get into the 80s, I'll leave this break even on the rest. There's Apple trying to come right back up for the close. Let's see what happens here. Dun, dun, dun. Will it make the move? It went to the 2090 spot there. I'm just looking for below that 2090 to break into the 80s. Start attempting to get through this support 2085. Qs is what's going to matter here, guys. All right, Qs coming back up and just chopping around right before the close. It's 352. Got to be careful here as I could get shooken out towards 21. If I do, I'm out. It's okay. I just wanted to risk a little bit of the profits today to try to get after some more, and I'm not going to be mad. It's yesterday 700, today almost 1,000. Just got to keep battling. Nowhere near the leaders though. I got to step up to the plate. What's going on out there, Nick Brown? Big hour AMC. AMC after hours. That would be an interesting trade to take that could make my account here, right? Well, I got to start thinking about what type of trades I want to take overnight here because I do want to take some overnight trades. The only question is where to step up to the plate, right? What earnings report to step up on? There's a lot coming tonight. And it's not this one. Sorry about that. It's this one. Coinbase, DraftKings, bookings. Ooh, booking holding. Man, that would take some let's just say some big you know what? Cuz the truth is this one's a hard trade. $2,000 stock, right? We'll see what happens on that one. That could be a make or break me type of stock. We'll see what happens there. Definitely a firm trying to get me out here right towards the end. If it does hit 21, though, there's no need for me to even be in here. We'll see what happens if it does hit that. Or do we get a decline here towards the end here? I'm looking around. EMPH already falling off. So those solar names might start to drop a little bit. SEDG starting to come down there. How did First Solar do today? First Solar just hanging out here. Let me go towards an hourly chart on First Solar. A lot of topping around the 150s. Will it come back down there? That's one thing that I've been thinking about. And I could see this coming eventually down to 132. Doesn't seem like a bad kind of swing to the downside. We'll see what happens there on First Solar. All right, seeing some dropping already in certain stocks. Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY still making the move, though. Qs are just chopping. They're just going sideways. Energy had a hell of a day. Real estate having a hell of a day. Utilities having a hell of a day. Industrials, not bad, guys. My XLI play, probably one of the top plays of the day. You guys can see that sell right here at 175. So I'm glad where I sold it. Pretty much rode up the XLI all day long and sold it. That's not a bad play at all there. All right, seeing some other names coming in here. DPST showing up. Man, that was a pretty crazy move there. Palantir trying to make a move back through 18. We'll see what happens there. Affirm still not really breaking those 92s. Just hit it again and then bounce. So I expect to get stopped out here. But the truth is, I set the trade, set it, forget it. Let's see what happens here at the last 5 minutes of the market here, team. All right, definitely smash the like, especially if you guys are enjoying it in the chat. You know those huevos out there. Let's get to the action. Having a good time. XRT flying, man. Honestly, that's been one of my top watches that I missed on the swing trade action, but this is looking great. Just because we're also coming off the bottom. Like it came off that bottoming action. We talked about this yesterday, but it made no decline through this 59.25. Just went straight up. Of course, some of these names you guys can keep an eye out for, like Starbucks. I can take a look. Also, BSCO, Victoria's Secret was one of those that was making a huge move here. We'll see what happens. Q's now making that move. Could stop me out here. So I might try to extend my stop just for a second here, just for a couple points here to see if it can go ahead and not hit me here. It's back to 95. So that's a good outlook here. I can put it at 2102s. The Q started making a little bit of a down move there, but then stopped right on the support. You can see how it's being held up, and that's a lot of algo action. That's probably what I expect there. You even made a wick through the 363.30s. Now you're coming back, so I'm going to tighten up here. Should have already broken down. So now I'm going to tighten up here just below towards 20.99 and see if we get that last little move here. If not, I'll get the hell out. Got to get the hell out before the close here as I want to focus on Apple towards the bell. And of course, how am I going to do that? I'm going to bring up my Benzinga Pro in just a second here to show you guys what? The calendar feature, right? This is the important part. Let's go ahead and get to that. Let's bring in here Benzinga Pro. You guys see Benzinga Pro there. You guys just saw me take that hit, 120 out. I'm okay with that. That's more than fine. Let's pay attention to Apple here. What are their earnings and what should we be looking for? Well, the 139 EPS is expected to come in. Last time they were at 119. So we'll see if that can get back in. Last time they were actually at 126 and then 152 behind that. Let's see if we can get above 152. That would make me feel a lot like big bullish. And of course, on revenues, I think they hit this. The revenues have been going down, right, in a trend here for a while now. They're expected to actually get a little bit of a bounce to 89 from 81 prior. This is very important. I say we pay attention to see the revenues. If they're above 89, I think Apple could get some little love today. And of course, we'll have the conference call right here at 5 p.m. You guys can catch it right here, only on Benzinga, of course, or you guys can go over to their actual, webcast. But if you guys want to talk with traders, I would stick right here. My man Michael Feehan is going to have that up for us. We have it right here on Benzinga. So catch that earnings call later today. And I'll stay with you guys towards the bell. I'll watch the numbers as they come in. I'll let you know as soon as I get those Apple numbers. It's going to be a little bit of a wait and see because sometimes they hold them a little bit. But let's find out what happens here in Apple. All right, but not a bad day there. Just definitely going to battle. You going live for not too long, Nick. And if you're willing to join, Nick, by all means, the door's open to you, my friend. Dia de los Muertos today in Mexico. Hell yeah. Let's get after it. I might need a little beer after today. It's been a tough day, but a battle indeed. I got to thank my boys at Celsius Holdings out there. You guys know it. The wild berry life. That's the only way you can trade like this, man. A lot of tickets today, but hey, in the green, baby, and battling. 359. Smash that like. We're about to get Apple earnings. Coinbase is one that I'm going to be especially watching because a lot of people are like betting on Coinbase already. I was looking at it earlier today. So let's see what happens here. This is going to be an important report. This could drive them maybe towards 100 or even back down through 70s. I don't know the expected move. I have to look at like options AI or look into the options change to see it. But it's 4 o'clock. You guys smash the like. Last push. Mitch Market waiting for Apple. Let's get after it, Keith. Let's see what we can do, man. All right, let's see what else is out there. And they don't charge fees for stock trades, right? I agree with that, with Robinhood, right? Are you talking options, Keith? We'll see what happens there. All right, so coin's going to be one that I'll watch first here, guys. There's the bell. I just heard that click. There's 4 p.m. Let's see what happens here, team. I can still trade, but I have to be careful when the spreads on companies like this, right? So let's see what comes in here, what earning stocks first start showing up for me. I'll let you guys know. Dun, 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 dun. So much news coming in at one time here. I saw Redfin show up there. So I'll take a look at that. Taking a look to see, what's one thing that's important is the change since publish. And you can see this on Benzinga Pro. So I'll show you guys that in just a second here as I start to get some of these earnings in here. So I'm just scrolling over them to see what is going on there with those, right? Like, can I see the change there showing me that it's already spiking in the after hours? All right, so looking around to see, especially like Coinbase and names like that. Now we're getting a bunch of reports to fall in. Of course, they come in here. And now we'll be looking to see as we get Apple's report. Of course, everyone's all eyes open to see what happens here in Apple. Let's find out, team. You guys smash the like. Let's see the Apple action right now. Apple around the 177.70s still went higher, and it went back through that 177.50 spot, right? That's definitely something to keep an eye out for. There are so many stocks that pop. There's Para. Is that Para's pop there? Is that Para's earnings? Paramount earnings coming through here. Ooh, Paramount rockets up as Super Bowl advertising fills up. That's interesting. Super Bowl ads nearly sell out. That's what I'm getting here. That's affecting Para and Fox. Fox might be the one that's not making the biggest move off of it. So let's take a look at Fox. Fox hasn't really ripped here. It's at 28.46. When did this come out here? It came out at like 144. So let's see if this actually affects the stock there. Para was making a huge move on the day. So Para, big move up there. We'll see if that can continue to lift here. In after hours, it did push from 12 to above 1250s. Big push there. in Para. And then Para might affect different ones, right? That could affect like Warner Brothers and names like that. We'll keep an eye out there. All right, going back to Apple, seeing if there's anything there. I don't see anything just right now, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on it to see what happens there. It's climbing already. Coin is one that I'm keeping an eye out for. Let me know if you guys see any of these reports that are standing out to you guys. I got you, Nick. I'll go ahead and I'll give you the link there. I'll send it to you, my friend. Look for it on, of course, on Slack. I'll probably send it to you there. Nick, it'd be great to have you on, my friend. I'm not going to stick around for too much longer, but I don't mind staying for like, 10, 15 minutes, especially you guys out there. If you guys can smash the like and support me staying extra, because trust me, it's been a long day. Let's just say that. All right, Para, big push there. Dash, will that keep going? We'll see what happens with these names. Carvana's already pulling back. How did that Affirm do? Affirm's back through 21, so going to keep watch on that. But that was a good trade today on Affirm. I got to say, I was looking for a move into this kind of 2080s, 2090s spot. I took the profits into like the 60s and 70s, but it was a really nice trade overall. Top sell on Affirm today was 2095. Ooh, I like that one. All right. And wouldn't you know it, the man himself in the chat wants to join the show. Ready to get after it, my friend? It's good to see you. You see this guy in the chat. If you want to join, send me the link. I got you. You guys,
we're here, Mitch. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, man. I'm sure, man. There's a lot, and there's AMC coming out, right? You said.
Well, no, I was just referencing big after hours. If you could throw up Expedia, we actually have those earnings.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. That's my guy.
They just crossed. Expedia beating top and bottom line adjusted EPS 541. Estimate was for 493. Revenue 3.929 billion. Estimate was for 3.857 billion. Booked room nights up 9% year over year. Basically, traveling is still happening. Traveling is healthy. We've heard that from the cruise lines. We've heard that from airlines. So all these companies that are doing in the traveling business continue to soar. We heard that from Airbnb too yesterday when they reported earnings, that traveling is not going away. And especially as we transition now into Thanksgiving, the holiday coming up, Christmas coming up, New Year's coming up, we do expect that a lot more of these companies that do these overnight stays and airlines will continue to soar. So just wanted to highlight there. But to Mitch, to my point to Apple, that this is going to be a big hour. Apple is, I believe, is released at 4:30. It's going to tell a lot about the iPhone market, not only here in the US, but how China is doing. Young China, believe it or not, I believe it was yesterday, they missed on earnings. That kind of gives a sign of what the China economy is like. We know that the data has been very strong. We know that they're missing on a lot of key metrics. And it's concerning how China's economy is not coming back yet. We do have more earnings. If you could throw up Paramount.
I see more coming in on Paramount. And I also saw, I think Booking definitely hit the tape at least. And Booking was getting a hard down move. So be careful with that Expedia. Even though Expedia is doing really well, of course, we know Booking the leader. So if they just get destroyed, you got to be careful there, right? I always pay attention to the relationship, especially when they're reporting on the same day. That's a little bit scary, right? Because one could give you a really bullish outlook and then the other one tell you that we're seeing destruction in the industry. So we never know what can happen. Definitely good numbers though there on Expedia. What are you seeing in Para? I'm showing it right here. I could catch that Super Bowl ad mention, and that definitely gave it the pop. We'll see if it can keep pushing.
I was going to say adjusted EPS from continuing operations, 30 cents, not comparing them to estimates. Revenue beat 7.13 billion. Estimate was for 7.09 billion. Global viewing hours across Paramount Plus and Pluto TV grew 46%. Paramount Plus revenue grew 61%. Subscribers reached over 63 million. Net additions, 2.7 million in Q3. So once again, the streaming stocks here, it's a very different sign of how Paramount is doing compared to Netflix just because of the ads. And if it was it Disney or Netflix sometime this week or last week saying they tested it and subscribers actually liked sitting through ads, which is something that I didn't expect. Just because when I want to watch a movie or I want to watch some kind of show, I don't want to be sitting through ads. I kind of just want to bypass them. So, and cracking down on the sharing of passwords is something that's very interesting. And we'll see if more companies continue to operate that in the coming months and in the coming years ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at WBD for relationship play off that para. That's why I'm looking at this one right now. And you just saw it get a little bit of a pop there, trying to get back above towards 1130s, 1150s. But keeping my eye open to see what else is moving on the market. There's a lot of earnings reports coming in, so be careful out there. We'll see. And also with stocks getting this kind of pop, this kind of day, be careful for some offerings out there from smaller companies.
Yes, I was going to say Fortinet, FTNT, they are out with earnings. Q3 EPS, 41 cents, beats 36 estimates. Sells do miss 1.33 billion. Miss against the estimate was 1.35 billion. Stock is falling because revenue is not as, I should say, mixed guidance a little bit. They see Q4 EPS 42 cents to 44 cents. Estimate was for 42 cents. They see Q4 revenue 1.38 billion to 1.44 billion, below expectations of 1.5 billion. They see full year 23 EPS $1.54 to $1.56. Estimate was for 151. They see the full year revenue in the range of 5.27 billion to 5.3 billion. According to Benzinga Pro, that is below expectations of 5.4 billion. These statements are forward-looking, and actual results may differ materially. Guidance with respect to non-GAAP. So again, Fortinet is falling just because of missing of the guidance just a little bit.
Booking came in there. I saw that as that hit there. I'll give you guys that. EPS $72.32 beats the 61 estimate. Revenues of 7.3 beats the 7.26 estimate. And as we saw it coming down before the report, I'm definitely keeping an eye out there. Looks like someone in Victoria's Secret sold. I can't blame them. I was watching the stock all day. The chief HR officer and chief legal officer were paying some taxes out there. And sold some shares there. So insiders moves there. Para ripping, something to definitely keep an eye out for. We'll see if this kind of gets the lift there. Booking, just no volume there. As much as I want to play it because it's super expensive and I can make a lot, I could also lose a lot too, right? Let's see what else is making a move out there. Anything else you're catching in the after hours? One thing that I got to do is I got to turn my scanner here on Benzinga Pro to after hours. That helps right there, right? So
yes.
Right now, billholdings.com just getting absolutely annihilated. We keep seeing stocks like this down 30% there. I'm pretty sure this is earnings too. Look at that, bill.com. Look at that. How do I do that? I just use my scanner and I'm just like, holy crap, man. That's insane there. That's a major hit.
I was going to say, if you want a more simplified version, you can actually go to the Benzinga.com Twitter page, or I should say Benzinga on Twitter on X. And if you're ever wondering who posts earnings, that's me. I'm like tag teaming here.
So I like to hear,
Mitch,
bro.
You know, Mitch, I still do the AI counts. Those aren't going away. So I do have to do an AI count on Qualcomm, and I'll be doing an AI count for sure on Apple tonight, which will be, I'll count them and I'll have them up for you tomorrow morning. I will send them to you because I know the pre-market prep crew likes these AI counts, and AI is still a thing, and they're not going away, I don't think.
I think Square numbers might have hit.
Yes, they have hit the wire. I believe we are seeing per pro. Total revenue came in better than expected, 5.62 billion, better than expectations of 5.441 billion.
You saw how quick that was there?
You can see that their shares are higher.
Yeah, this one's a harder one to play just because we're already making an up move, but we got a big resistance we're about to push through. We'll see if it can get pushed through there and it really kind of expand there. Of course, PayPal's earnings are out of the way, so that kind of helped it today. Get the lift into the move. Let's see if it keeps pushing. There's the move there. EPS coming in there. That's a nice push there. I'll tell you right now, guys, this is not my strength trying to play after hours moves. The spreads are so wide. Look at that though. I could see that one being like one that I would maybe take the shot on right there. But man, that dip to 46.20 got bought in an instant. Back up there to 48s there on Square. Boom, boom. What a move, guys. Smash the like out there. You guys enjoy us sticking around for some earnings action here. Para got to 13. Now starting to pull back. We'll see what happens on that one. Looking around, team. All right, let's see what else is making a big move on the day there. Team also down 12%. That's not going to be good. Looking around to see what else is on the move here. I did see Sentinel-1, Pan W down 4%.
And Mitch, I forgot. We get a jobs report tomorrow morning at 8:30.
More numbers? No
Yes.
way. I can't deal with all this.
It just hit me. We get more economic data tomorrow morning. We get the October jobs report.
Dun, dun, dun. Expedia with the rip, man. That thing is continuing to go here. Expedia up there to 104s. So I can take a look to see how this is affecting other travel stocks, right? Look at Marriott starting to take a little bit of a lead here in the after hours. Hilton, let me take a look there. That's not moving on this. Airbnb, a little lift there. Not the biggest lift there, though. Let's go back to booking to see if this is actually going to start lifting here. It hasn't moved. It moved down here. We'll see if it actually starts to make a move up.
I was going to say, hey, Mitch, I have some more information regarding Block's earnings circulating through Twitter right now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Q3 Cash App revenue, $3.58 billion above expectations of $3.39 billion. Net rev was a beat. Adjusted EPS was a beat. Adjusted EBITDA was a beat. Here's where the guidance comes in. They see full year adjusted EBITDA $1.66 billion to $1.68 billion. They did see previously $1.5 billion. They see full year adjusted operating income $205 million to $225 million. They saw $25 million, and the initial authorization to buy back $1 billion in shares.
Poof. Looking around, guys, looking around. There's a lot of action out there. And like always, you guys can keep up with all the action. You just got to get Benzinga Pro, pro.benzinga.com. Get your 2-week trial today.
No credit card necessary. That's a good point.
Boom.
No credit card is necessary.
It really is an important point. Look at the Square move. That was an interesting one to maybe take the shot on, right? The 46, like this move when it went down to 46.20s really quickly. It was like 1 second there that you got the opportunity to maybe jump on it. Nice little move there in Square.
One company that we do talk about a lot is Pioneer Natural Resources, ticker PXD. Earnings are out. They beat on EPS
PXD.
581 to 555. Revenue was a miss, 3.46 billion. That does miss the 3.886 billion. You know, this all ties into oil, and we've seen Chevron, we've seen ExxonMobil report. Oil is going to be a company, and the oil price and the commodity price is going to be fluctuating a lot because we have a presidential election next year. And it really all comes down to who has the better gas prices. And we're not here to say who has the better gas prices. Just know prices are falling in some states, and in other states, they continue to skyrocket.
That is true, man. We'll see what happens. Booking trying to break daily support. I'll see if this could start turning around, but doesn't look good there. It's in the red while Expedia is up 10%, right? Not something you expect to see. Both of them on different ends of that move. Carvana is something that I'm taking a look at now. Looks like their results are starting to come in here. We'll see what happens. Looks like they announced a record third quarter result. Total gross profits per units looking pretty good here. Let's take a look there. Will Carvana get the move here now? Look at that, up to 31.25. You can see it has a couple of wicks there, and there's a reason why. Something had to not look the prettiest on the first action, but it's really starting to gain.
Hey, Mitch, Carvana is out.
You got it there?
Yeah, adjusted or Q3 revenue 2.77 billion. Estimates for 2.78 billion. Retail vehicle unit sales 80,987. Estimate was for 77,465. Adjusted EBITDA 148 million. Expectation was for 59.7 million. And adjusted EBITDA margin 5.3%. Estimate was for 1.88%.
All right, guys. So looks like Coinbase should be coming in here any second now. I see revenues out on Coinbase, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. It didn't get the love that I thought it would get. It went all the way up there to 87.43s though. So looking at it right now to maybe take a shot there towards the upside, but have to risk off this kind of 83 bottoming action here. So it'd be about $1 risk here.
DraftKings earnings are out.
The DraftKings, the Donkey Kong, baby. Oh, man, you're going to make me turn on my soundbar.
61 cents, not comparing them to estimates. Revenue, 790 million. Estimates for 702 million. They see monthly unique players, 2.3 million. Estimate was for 2.13 million. They see full year adjusted EBITDA loss, 95 million to 115 million. Estimate loss was for 185.7 million. And they see full year revenue 3.67 billion to 3.72 billion. They previously saw 3.46 billion to 3.54 billion.
That should maybe help Penn in the long run on this pullback, but we'll see what happens. DKNG, nice move there on the first action, 31.60. Got a high here of 31.75. And it's moving. It's starting to pull back here. I'd like the quick pullback to 30 on DraftKings. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on that one. The EPS still in a loss, though. That's one thing I'll note. But the beat was pretty significant on the revenue. And that right there could drive it higher. So it's a little bit of a mixed noise kind of report. I would love a pullback here to 30s. I would take the shot on that and then look for it to get to the 32s. But I don't want to step up here at 31s and all of a sudden get that pullback to 30s and get stopped out. It's a little bit of harder trade there. Square made it all the way up to 51, guys, on that move. What a move. Apple, why do you got to come out so late? You shouldn't be allowed to do this.
And my guess is they're probably not going to give guidance because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Bill.com still down now 37%, man. Definitely the disaster stock of the day. Look at that, guys. That's disaster there, man. All right, we'll see what happens here if it starts to bounce back. Of course, if Apple's earnings are just that good, I'll also look to see if Bill just wants to make it back, right? Because maybe that just drives the market higher and then we can see that come back. But something that I'll look at. DraftKings, what are you doing? All right, DraftKings is going sideways there. What else do we have making a move? Fortinet, another leader to the downside. That keeps getting hit there. Doc N, so Digital Ocean Holdings, up about 17%. They beat on their EPS at 44 cents, 38 cents the estimate there. Sales of 177 versus 173 million. So not a bad move there. Digital Ocean. Who knows about Digital Ocean Holdings? I haven't traded that, but it is getting a nice little lift off there.
Got to be honest, never even heard of the company.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. Finding companies sometimes is an interesting kind of experience, right? Because you learn more about it. And like always, what I do is I look at the bottom on Benzinga Pro and I see, what does this company do? Because if I'm going to look at it, I might want to know what it is. It's a cloud computing platform for on-demand infrastructure, platform tools for developers, startups, and small to medium-sized business. So that tells me already business to business and cloud computing. Boom. They're a cloud B2B. You see how that works? And then now you understand the company, right?
Yes.
Very easily.
Mitch, if you could throw up a chart of Cloudflare, net, ticker net.
Net.
They reported better than expected, or EPS. EPS came in 16 cents. Make sure here. Estimate was for about 10 cents. Revenue was a beat, 335.6 million. Estimates for 330 million. They see Q4 revenue 352 million to 353 million. Expectation was for 356.2 million. They see 4Q adjusted operating income 28 million to 29 million. They see Q4 adjusted EPS 12 cents to 12 cents. Estimate was for 10 cents. And they see full year revenue 1.29 billion to 1.29 billion. Saw 1.28 billion to 1.29 billion. That stock moving as well. So a lot of these names are moving just on earnings, and we are seeing sympathy plays as well. So it's just not one stock is moving. It's kind of the whole group that's moving, tilting better than expected earnings. What's the business outlook look like? Well, you can see we're getting a lot of different sectors, which means futures are really going to be moving tonight after Apple, because I do expect some sympathy plays in Apple tonight when they report earnings in just about 7 minutes.
All right, we'll see what else is going out there, team. A lot of action going on, so definitely keep up with the action, guys. Who's out there? Who bought 59 puts on Bill at 80? Sold? Oh, there you go. That happens sometimes, man. Do you still got it, or one simple trade? Tell me about that one. Square up 20%. Was it that great? No, I think it was just also that PayPal wasn't bad, and then Square wasn't bad, right? So like when two of them like aren't bad there, it kind of helps it out. So PayPal's report wasn't a kick-ass report, but it definitely raised the bar a little bit. But then Square came in here, and with the bullish tune of the market was already driving higher. So that actually helped it there, and it just pushed the bar up. Now I'd be a little bit careful tomorrow to see a kind of a pullback on Square. But for right now, doesn't look too bad. Nice little move there. Net going a little bit lower. This is one of those where you got to be careful, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of the tech names today. They're not doing so strong here in the after hours. I'll show you guys. Of course, Net is one of those, but look at the Skyworks. SWKS. Skyworks also down big, right? And I'm seeing a lot of these kind of tech names not doing the best right now. You do got some of them up, but let's see what happens with those, because it ain't looking just all pretty there. Fortinet is down 17%. Bill's now 38% down. Man, that is a disaster stock for sure. Glad I caught that one early. But
something we don't see every day.
Yeah, but it's trying to bounce here. And so that's another thing to think about. And sometimes stocks will make this destruction and make a bounce maybe back to like 75 here and crap like that. So I might take a shot here, guys. Let's take a smaller shot here, because I'll tell you right now, this is high risk, high reward here. I have to at least risk about what? I'm going to say to 53. And so that's about a little bit of $3. So I can't risk all my gains here today. So let's make it easier. Let's just try to do a trade to kind of teach right here of how we can actually go after these types of trades here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a little bit of a drop below this, because the spread is really wide. How do I look for it? I look here. I see 99, 100 there, but I see 55, 50, 300. So I'm going to put 55, 50 and join right there and try to get in here.
Mitch, here's a good point on Cloudflare. Someone highlighted to me to this on Twitter. Their dashboard and the API service, they're currently having an issue. And as of 3:55 this afternoon, they're still seeing gradual improvements in working to restore full functionality. Apparently, power to Cloudflare's core North America data center was partially restored. So watching Cloudflare working to continue with these issues. But their stock, remember, they reported earnings. Just wanted to bring you to that attention that they are having dashboard and API service issues. So that could be affecting the stock as well.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to help it, right? I mean, not what you want to be hearing on the day you're reporting, having some issues there. Yeah, somebody is getting the call down to the office.
Yes.
You know, it's not the good one when you hear that the principal wants to speak to you. Have you ever been called down to the office?
No.
No, never, Nick?
Yeah. I'm normally in the office. I'm normally in the office asking for something.
You're a good guy. Don't worry. They sat me right next to the principal in 5th grade. I learned really quickly.
That'd be like Jason Raznick calling me into the office.
Uh-oh. All right, so Para is holding that 13, went sideways multiple times, and now trying to take that next step up. We'll see if that can go through there. Definitely smash the like, guys. Apple, Apple, Apple. Why do you do this to me and report at 4:30? I said I was going to be here till 4:10, so please smash the like, guys. I'm enjoying it. Smash it up. Pinkies up out here, guys. Been going for now close to an hour, so let's see what we can come up with. Affirm finally started coming back down some, right? But it did it after hours. So we'll see what happens on that one.
I was going to say, while we're waiting for Apple earnings, I just got this. This was just an email sent to me by LSEG, with the firm with Refinitiv. They sent me these. They sent me these. The London Stock Exchange Group. They send me these different scorecards, and this one is Deals Intelligence as of today, November 2nd. This is the investment banking scorecard. Real estate mergers and acquisitions total 136.3 billion during year to date 2023. That's down 53% from year ago levels. Something that's very interesting. Global convertible bonds activity totals 79.3 billion so far this year, up 45% compared to year-to-date 2022 levels. This is important, Mitch, just because we've seen what's been going on with yields and bonds. 10-year near 5%, now today near 4.7, 4.8. But you can see we're transitioning from yields to bonds and bonds to yields. And the banking sector and banks, there is some worry with, is a recession coming? Do we still talking about a recession, or is that completely off the table? I don't know. What do you think?
The key here is that we run into a problem with a seasonality push. So the things are not always just one way, right, Nick? And that's the hard part of financial media and dealing with the stock market. So what I think happens here is that things start looking a little bit better in the holiday period, right? We had a area there where normally we go into the strongest seasonality time, and this is now until like mid-December, as you start to get what? Tax sell-off, right? And tax losses sell off. So those losers will probably get sold and winners get bought. So we'll see what happens out there. It's definitely good to see you out there too, Matt. It's good to see you, my friend. You enjoy pre-market prep? Hey, I love learning. And at the end of the day, guys, always reach out to me for feedback. I always take feedback. Nick and I always looking to improve, no matter what way that may be, right? So definitely smash the like out there. I'm going to actually do this one. This one looks a little bit better, a little wide, actually.
I was going to say, hey, Mitch, throw up Apple, volume, push up.
Uh-oh.
4:30. I don't have numbers just yet. Once I do.
Oh, my God. Somebody has this report, man. Somebody got it real quick. Those were the algos right there.
Okay, Mitch, here we go. Apple Q4 EPS, $1.46. S moves for $1.39. Sells 89.5 billion, better than expectations of 89.284 billion. Q4 2023 iPhone sales 43.8 billion, iPad sales 6.443 billion, Mac sales 7.61 billion, wearables 9.32 billion.
I was looking at it right now, guys. I actually got blocked out of trying to get it. The guys, they don't want me to buy it. I was going to go for that 178 right here. I was going to get 50 shares, and you guys can literally see it on the screen here. I'm not going to come after it. They blocked me out of it right now on the comp because it's just moving too fast and causing some volatility holds there. But so the report here, you're thinking good or not good here, right? It's your first outlook of what you see.
From what I'm seeing, it's good. Still trying to get these numbers up. I'm going to quickly.
I like it. You go through them, my friend. I'll take a look at it. I'll talk about it because I saw that the sales went to 89. 89 is kind of 89.5. We were expecting 89.28. At least sales have finally started to come up. Revenues had been declining the last 4 quarters. Revenues expected to come up slightly on this report, and they did. They meet the line there, right? So let's see if we can get a pullback and then a move higher. That's what I'm going to look for in Apple. Look at the pullback there, though, and look at the first wick action. Those algos definitely got got faked out to the upside there. How's Bill.com doing on this? I just wanted to see if it would start making a comeback there. No comeback really there. What's going on with like tech names like AMD and Nvidia? Like, how are those reporting, right? How are those moving? What about Qualcomm? I'm just looking at action. You see how Qualcomm's pulling back a little bit? So that tells me stuff that I got to look for. And remember earlier, I mentioned how some of these tech names just weren't looking the best on their report. So like SWKS, a perfect example, right? If Apple wants to come back, maybe this one actually comes back. It goes red first off of its report, but then can maybe come back on the market because Apple makes this way up here. So let's see what happens. I'm keeping my close eye on Apple to see what happens there. What are you seeing, my friend?
I was going to say, comparing them to Bloomberg estimates quickly, because someone does have them out. It looks like from the Bloomberg estimates, services revenue beat, wearables, home and accessories miss, iPhone revenue beats, Mac revenue misses. Mac revenue substantially misses, 7.61 billion compared to a Bloomberg estimate of 8.7 billion. Wearables, home and accessories miss. They come in at 9.32 billion. Estimate was for 9.41 billion. Apple cash pile 162.1 billion. That's down 4.4 billion from the prior quarter.
All right, I'm looking around to see what is making moves on this. AMD starting to decline on this report and getting a hit there. So now going to focus to see what happens on AMD to see if it takes the 107 out on the downside. Of course, AMD having good action, but starting to slow down. We'll see if Apple can make this kind of like down move and then come back. So
Mitch,
175, interesting spot.
I'm just going to keep going because we're getting more
Keep it
comments
flow.
on
Keep it
Pro.
flow, my friend.
Tim Cook says iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max models are supply constrained, expects to reach supply-demand balance on iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max models during the current quarter. He expects Mac sales to improve in the current quarter. Talk about regional revenues. America come in at 40.115 billion. Europe, 22.463 billion. Greater China, 15.084 billion. Japan, 5.505 billion. Rest of Asia Pacific, 6.331 billion. Total net sales, 89.498 billion.
All right. So give me at least the most important thing. I think sometimes when we read these numbers like this, Nick, it's not necessarily even the price action. I talked about the price action. You're running through some of those numbers. What's your overall feel? And this is not based on financial advice, but more just your feel. You see these reports all the time. First reaction from the numbers. What are you thinking? Is this a good report for Apple, bad report? And it's okay to be wrong. I think this is important. You're doing this in real time.
You know, I really thought too, with everything going on in China and supply constraints, I really thought Apple wasn't going to beat on so many metrics. iPad revenue was a beat. You know, we've seen these iPhone 15s. We do have this problem that supply isn't happening. We still have China in turmoil with economic data and their economy.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, Apple, this was better than expected on a lot of fronts. Just because some metrics missed doesn't mean the quarter overall wasn't great. But it's all going to be tonight when the conference call kicks off. The tone is going to be set by Cook and his team on what they think, because going into the December quarter, or going into this quarter now, and when they report again for December, how is the production going to affect Christmas? Because a lot of people want to upgrade, and upgrade comes during the Christmas season. They want to get it. They want to buy a new phone for the holidays. So the holiday quarter is going to make a big impact. And Mitch, for Black Friday, what are the deals going to be like? Are there going to be 15, 20, 35, 40, 50% off? Are they throwing in the towel and saying, sorry, we only can say 5% off for the iPhones or 5% off for the Macs? What are the Apple stores going to look like for Black Friday? Are they going to be packed? Are they going to be where you can't buy a single product? Or are they going to be, sorry, I can't buy this. This is too expensive.
I'm already starting to see a little bit of a move back here on the net report. And so I'm looking at that one as potential one that could come back to 56. Of course, if Apple starts going into the green there. So keeping an eye on Apple. It started balancing around that 175 and 176 spot. But that's just what I'm catching out here, guys. And of course, I think the report's going to be everything tonight. So keep your eyes open for that report. We'll see what happens if Apple actually makes a move before that. But interesting report in action right off the report. As you saw, first up move, then down move, and now let's see if we get that next up move here. I see AMD starting to recover. That doesn't look too bad there. And also NVIDIA is one that I could maybe play on this report.
What did you think of Starbucks this morning? That's what I wanted to ask you, just because.
Monster move, man.
Well, I was going to say, I don't go to Starbucks that often, but when I do get the opportunity to use my rewards, use my points. And especially, Mitch, I don't know if you know this, but if you go to Target and after Target or whenever you go, and if you put in your phone number, you actually get 5% off, or actually you get 5% back, I should say, from your Starbucks coffee. You actually get more rewards, 5% from that to your Target Circle savings. I'm a Target Circle member. But to the point is, people are still going out and buying coffee. They're not making it at home. They're still going to Panera Bread. They're still going to Wendy's. They're still going to McDonald's to buy coffee. Coffee is an essential thing. But also, the thing I'm trying to make is consumer spending is not slowing. It's continuing. People continue to spend. I don't care what people say, Mitch, that sales are slow, that people aren't spending. I see it every day in my local area. The Targets, the Walmarts, the Lowe's, the Michaels, these stores for art supplies, for everything, spending isn't going away. Spending is continuing to happen. I don't know why people are saying consumer spending is going to slow. Consumer spending is not slowing, and I don't expect it to slow anytime.
Yeah, the truth there is just that the overall expenses for the consumer won't go away, and that's the problem there.
Just because inflation is high doesn't mean spending is stopping.
No, but the consumer only has a certain amount of savings, Nick, and that's the key that they're watching. Does those savings get to the point where even people that have like a lot of savings get to the point where they're living check to check? That's when things get problem.
And that is something that not many people are talking about. They are waiting for the 25 to 30% off. They are waiting for 50% off. They are waiting for all of the deals they can get. And that's with going to Target. I go to Target almost every week, and I've saved $15, $16 in just 1% back every week. Pretty soon I'll be going to Target and using my savings. My point is, yes, we're waiting for discounts. Consumers are not slowing in spending, and people are still eating out every night. I don't care what the inflation is. I don't care what anybody says. People are still eating out. People are still spending. Spending is not going away. And if you go to upgrade your new iPhone, maybe they will pay $1,000. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But spending is not going away. I don't expect the consumer to slow anytime soon, especially since we got the holidays rolling around. Black Friday, I can only imagine the deals this year. If they want to attract everybody out to the stores, I can only imagine the deals that the Walmarts, the Targets, the Lowe's, the Michaels, the Dollar Trees, the Dollar Generals, the deals they are going to have this year. I will not be surprised if I see 30 to 50% off.
All right, guys, I'm going to start taking my shot here in just a second here for the Apple trade. And I think I'm going to let it test one more time, try to make like a double, triple attempt here on the TQQQ. This is one that I could trade. And of course, what is this? This is positive for the Qs. So this is what I'm starting to think about as maybe doing a little bit of an overnight action. Will we continue in the strength? Of course, it's going to be on the earnings call that's going to matter to me the most. It's tried to get over 176 multiple times here. I think it might try one more time the 173.50s and then give us the lift closer and closer to the call. It's 441. I'm actually going to get you guys over to that call as I start to wrap up here the day. It was an intense day, to say the least, guys. Please, if you guys appreciated all this time that we just spent with you guys, please smash that like, guys. And definitely for Nick and I, always working hard, always trying to keep you guys, in the know, right? Because it's so important. Like, we can't tell you guys what to do in the financial spaces, but there's one thing that we can do is keep you guys informed. And like always, stay safe out there, team. Stay subscribed, hit that like down below, and we'll see you next time, guys. I'm going to try your battle on this
PreMarket Prep.
You know it, Nick. Enjoying school, my friend?
Yes. I had off today, but I had to do some errands. A lot of busy work today, but got ready for Apple earnings. I will be joining the show live trading in just a few weeks when Thanksgiving break rolls around.
Ah,
I'll be
well,
back.
there you go. I'd love to see it. It's always good to have you, Nick Brown. Thank you for joining me. Definitely made things a lot easier for me. So I appreciate it like always. We'll see you guys out there tomorrow, bright and early, pre-market prep. Don't miss it. Keep up with the action. pro.benzinga.com. We told you it twice. Don't forget it. See you next time, team.